Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today. That's the quote for day 3 in 75 Refined. That's a quote by Jordan Peterson, Dr. Jordan Peterson. So today, total transparency. I didn't hit all my goals. I hit my water goal. I hit my reading goals. I did all of that, but I did not hit my diet goal. Didn't have dinner. Went to church tonight. They do a church dinner thing, and it was a stir fry, delicious. I had some white rice and all that kind of stuff with a couple of egg rolls. So I didn't hit it perfect today, but I did a lot of the other things well. Again, this is not about perfection. It's about progress, and so it's okay. What I'm doing is more of like a, if you've ever heard of like a keto or carnivore, I'm doing what's called ketovore, which is heavy carnivore, mostly meats, and then a couple of little things kind of added in there. But let's talk about today's reading. So first, out of the personal reading, I'm in Discipline Equals Freedom by Jocko Willink. And this was really just kind of setting the stage about what discipline is all about just kind of getting rid of the excuses, just doing what you're called to do, overcoming and when and where procrastination is and kind of how to overcome that. The person you can control. There's one person you can control. That's you. He also talks about mind control, not about psychic mind control, but controlling your own mind. It's a great book. So far, thoroughly enjoying it. But let's get into the reading today. So before we start, in the comments below, I highly recommend you do this. First of all, again, what did you get out of your reading today? What personal book are you reading? But on top of that, I want to know really what it is you're getting out of the scripture reading. And let me know what kind of format you want these to be. The first video was like 17 minutes long. Yesterday's video, I think, was like 4 minutes long. Maybe we go somewhere in between. Listen, if you guys are going to watch them, I'm happy to do it as long or as short as you want it to be. So let's get into what we read. We went from Genesis 31 to Genesis 43. So we're almost done with the book. We got into the story of Joseph today. But I wanted to highlight a specific part of Genesis in chapter 32 where Jacob wrestles with God. This is a profound moment in Jacob's life. It's when his name is changed from Jacob to Israel. And what we recognize in our own lives is that when we wrestle with God, when we wrestle with, hard truths, hard things to grasp, just difficult situations in our life, when we wrestle with God in these situations, we will come out with the blessing. Now, as we see here with Jacob, his hip was put out of socket. And so you may walk away with a limp, but you will walk away with the blessing. And that's what wrestling with God is all about. It will transform you. It'll change you. And wrestling with God is sometimes those tough questions that maybe you don't have the answer for. That loved one who's dying, the problems in the world, the issues that you're dealing with personally. These are things that you can and should wrestle with God about. So I encourage you to take those to Him in prayer. Go to somebody. For those of you who are in my life, if you have those tough questions, bring them to me. Bring them to other leaders in your life. We're happy to kind of wrestle through those with you. But that's something that we're here for. We see more family drama. We see that Dinah was violated and the brothers got some revenge. It was down and dirty revenge. We see Joseph, who was the beloved son. Joseph was given the coat of many colors, a beautiful tunic, and Joseph, the amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. If anybody remembers that, if those of you who are old enough, some of you may not. I know some of the other younger guys in the youth group probably don't get that reference, but your parents would love it. Anyways, Joseph's brothers were jealous of him, and so they sold him off into slavery. But that didn't stop Joseph from achieving the highest heights in his life. He was exactly where God needed him to be. And as we wrap up Genesis in the next few chapters, we're going to see exactly how Joseph handles his brothers in a deeper way. So it's going to be really cool to see. But in the meantime, what we see, and this is something that I learned a long time ago, if anybody's ever studied up on people who climb mountains, especially Mount Everest, there's this process of acclimation or acclimatization, they call it, where you don't just go up the mountain in one fell swoop. You have to go up and then you kind of come back down to acclimatize to the atmosphere and the air and things like that, the elevation. And so we see that in our own lives where sometimes it feels like you're taking a few steps forward, then a few steps back, and then a few steps forward and a few steps back. But ultimately, you are making that forward progress. And we see that in the life of Joseph. You know, here he is, the favorite son of Jacob, right? And then he's sold into slavery by his brothers. And then after that, he's purchased by Potiphar, and then he becomes the head of Potiphar's house. And then he's thrown into jail, right? So he gets even lower, right? And then from being imprisoned, he then becomes, the head of the jail, right? And then he's brought out of prison, become the number 2 in command in Egypt. And so he achieved these highest heights, but he also had some of the lowest lows. And so as we're going through our lives, just remember, if we keep focused on God and we keep going with the promise that we can achieve these high heights, but we have to stay focused on God. We have to keep him as number 1, keep following his vision. And listen, we don't always know why we're in the season that we're in, but we do know that God has something for us as long as we're still pursuing him. But yeah, again, a lot going on in these chapters. High level overview. Tomorrow, we're going to get into the end of Genesis. We're going to wrap that up. Then we're going to go into the story of Exodus. We're going to meet Moses. We're going to walk through his life as we begin Exodus. So I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward once again to hearing your feedback on what's going on in your readings. What are you pulling out of these scriptures? I only highlighted a couple of things. There was, again, even more family tea, more family drama that happened with Judah and his daughter-in-law. Like, this stuff gets crazy. So, but I want to know what you're pulling out of these scriptures. What are you seeing? Again, this is high-level overview. We're going through a lot of scripture in a short period of time. So tell me what you're getting out of it. Tell me again, what books are you reading? Because I want to know. I want to see some recommendations in the comments. And let me know what the length of videos that you're looking for. Do you like how I'm doing more of a high-level overview? Or do you like where I dig into specific stories and how that pertains to your life? Let me know what's going to be best. But we're here tomorrow. We're going to be back at it. I'm going to be back in full swing with the diet, right? I'm not going to... No more stir fry for me. We're going to keep going for the next remaining of the 75 days. All right, let's go get some.